Alright, here we have a application problem that says the ratio of the lengths of an airplane wing to its width is 8 to 1. If the length of a wing is 32.5 meters, how wide must it be? And round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so first things first, let's figure out what our ratio needs to be here. And they told us that the ratio was talking about length compared to width. So I'm going to write that down first as length compared to width. And I'm going to go ahead and write that out for both of my ratios. Remember, that'll help us to be able to write our numbers in the correct spot. So now they said the original ratio is 8 to 1. Length to width, 8 to 1. Then they say if the length of the wing is 32.5, so that goes with length, how wide must it be? This is our actual question and what we're trying to find, and we don't know. So let's call it x. Now that we've set that up, we can go ahead and we can do our cross product. So we'd have 8 times x will equal 1 times 32.5. And if you'll remember, 1 times anything is itself. So 1 times 32.5 is just 32.5. And over here on the left, we have 8 times x. Now, in order to finish solving this, we need to get x alone. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8 so that it will cancel. And now we have x equals 32.5 divided by 8 is 4.05 or something. We're supposed to round this to the nearest hundredth, though, remember. So that would be 4.06. I think actually it was 4.06 and then some other things behind it. So double check that with your calculator so that you can see what I'm talking about. But now what does this mean? This means that our width has to be 4.06 meters. So we always want to finish out and talk about our answer, in real terms. We want to say exactly what does that answer mean, not just say x equals 4.06. All right, last one here. This says at 3 p.m., Coretta's shadow is 1.05 meters long. Her height is 1.68 meters. At the same time, a tree's shadow is 6.58 meters long. How tall is the tree? Round to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so here again, let's figure out what our ratio is. They are talking about her shadow compared to her height. So let's write that out. Shadow compared to height. And we're going to write that out for both of our rates here. Since these are different units, this would be technically considered a rate. And now let's go back and let's fill in our actual numbers. Her shadow is 1.05 meters and her height is 1.68 meters. Now we're going to talk about the tree. The tree's shadow was 6.58 meters, and they're asking us how tall is it, or another thing to say would be what's its height. So now again, once we've set this up, we can do our cross product. So that would be 1.05 times x is supposed to be equal to 1.68 times 6.58. Okay, so now we have 1.05 times x is equal to, when we do this multiplication, we get 11.0544. And then dividing both sides by 1.05 so that it will cancel top and bottom, we get x equals 10.528. I wrote this whole one out this time so I don't have to guess about what I was doing. Now it said round to the nearest hundredth, so that is the second decimal place. So that means we're going to have to round this up to 10.53. And what that means is that the tree is 10.53 meters high or tall, either one, whichever one you wanted to say.